as Gambian citizens to gather and demand things that are affecting our lives and things that are affecting the livelihood of the Gambian people. People are having gentes here. People are having marriage ceremonies without police permit. Why can't the youth also gather without a permit? Are we criminals? We are not criminals, for God's sake. We are here demanding justice and we have to deliver this country. The police should learn from other countries. This is how the revolution in Kenya started. They start arresting small groups. When the people are angry, we revolt. Police die, citizens die. The Arab Spring also revolt like this. Small groups are arrested, people die, police die. So let it be clear to the Gambian police force. If the boys are doing this, we are blocking everywhere. No one is going home until when the boys are.
It's not even in the Constitution. It's an act of parliament.
No surrender.
It is not in the Constitution. The Public Order Act. So that act of parliament, it's a law, of course, but it is not in the Constitution because the National Assembly passed it to be a law. So it's an act. It's a colonial act that was used to suppress the lives of course, the father, the watchdog of Gambian politics, Edward Francis Small. Him, together with some of his comrades that were fighting, agitating for our independence. The law is to suppress them. The law is to make sure that they do not have the right to voice out their frustration. That is why Edward Francis Small organized one of the first protests in the country, in the history of the country, non-taxation without representation. So it's because of that. That is why the Public Order Act was introduced to avoid another protests that are going to lead to a serious disorder in this country and that can lead to the independence. So we cannot be able to use the same law. For how long, for God and heaven's sake? In Africa, there are a few countries that are using this law. Gambia and Uganda are part of those countries. For how long? How long? And the Public Order Act, it's very clear. It is very, very clear that it says that if you are going to be in possession, protest is in two ways, for God and heaven's sake. Protest without possession, it's the protest that the people organize at Pura. That is where they were arrested. It's in a public place. Let's assemble. That is our fundamental human right to assemble as Gambians. Let's assemble and say out our frustration. That is why they were there. They were not in possession. In possession means if the Public Order Act will say if you are seeking permit to protest, that is to say you are going to be in possession. Like the last Gala protest when we marched from Iceman to the youth movement. We were in possession with the musical set. We are moving, we are obstructing traffic. Inside Pura, you want to tell me that people are going to obstruct traffic? Inside Pura, inside their building. It's a public place. For God and heaven's sake. That the government revisit the Public Order Act. Protest. It's part of the fundamental pillars that strengthens democracy in Africa. Protest. It's part of those fundamental pillars. So if you want to suppress masses from protesting, they are going to agitate and they will protest. You will arrest them, but they will never stop. You can kill, arrest, torture a revolutionary, but you can never kill, arrest, or torture. I went to court to police station. On Friday, I was out of town. But when I came, I make sure that I fought the whole cell. You go to court on Friday evening, 11 of them, 11 grown men were trapped in a 2x2 centimeter cell in the 24th century. How can you even survive in that 2x2? That is a tamperment of their fundamental human rights. They are tampered with their fundamental human rights. Yes, okay, you can keep them in custody, but they have the right to enjoy the ventilation. They have the right to enjoy the air to survive, for God and everything. And they were.
How do you feel seeing them in that position?
I feel terrified, and I said to myself, is this the country that we want to see our children? That is the question that every government should ask yourself. Is this the question? Is this the government or the country that I want my people to see in the next future? We all want to give word for God and heaven. We want to be family men. But we don't want our kids to ask us the same questions that our fathers cannot answer. You ask your father, what have you done? What have you done to make sure that you remedy the situation? They cannot tell you. We don't want the question to arise. Because they do not commit any crime, like I said. They do not commit any crime. They are free and they are lawfully and unlawfully arrested. They lawfully assembled and then they were unlawfully arrested. So that is why if you are to bail me, you are not telling me I am bailing you because you commit this crime. I do not commit any crime. That is why we want the bail to be unconditional.
People die for
We want the bail unconditional. You think if the state have interest, they are going to grant the bail? They will not. They know that they are not standing on any grounds. What they want to do is to make sure that the people are silent before 2026 elections. And I want to put this across to all Gambians. 2026 elections is an election for Gambia to design its future. The country has not been on any foundation since independence. Since 1965, Uncle Mahdi will argue 1970. We have not been standing on any foundation. Take an example, foundation at the end of the day, what is going to happen? In Bangkok at 60. Let's imagine. People that are at our homes and they are at 60 years old now. How are they living? They are old men. Some of them are dead. Some of them cannot do anything on their own. But what is going to happen? The country is at 60. We are still talking about Public Order Act in the 21st century, and we said we are 60 years old. We really have to revisit and architect our destiny. So the future of this country relies solely on the hands of the youth. Let them not tell you that you are the future. You are not the future. You are the now. If you allow them to say you are the future, they are going to wait until you are 60 years old. Until if you are 60 years old, they want to give you power. You will die in power.
So as we anticipate the court verdict, what is the way forward?
Like I said the last time I had an interview, I think I have it here, that the court is now going to decide on our fate. Whether we are all going to go to mile 2 to be reminded with the profession, or they are going to let them be. And Pura must revisit. It's not like they should. They must. If you are hearing me, Pura, you must revisit that tariff. For God and heaven's sake, my grandmother in the village cannot afford that data. What are you trying to tell me? She does not have the right to browse? She does not have the right to know what is in the internet? What are you trying to say? $500 is for, I don't know, 10 gigabytes for 14 days. $500 is how many of you? How much are you paid as a civil servant?
As a civil servant, look, some of them that are pushing us are having 4,000.
4,000, 3,000, 2,000. Okay, every 14 days you have to buy a data of $500. How much are you going to be left? You have a family to feed. You have a right. You have to buy rice. You have children that are going to school. You have siblings that solely depend on you. What is the future? That is why poverty becomes the order of the day. That is why corruption is not going to end as far as those things are not addressed. That is why the police officers themselves will continuously keep on collecting bribes. Keep on collecting bribes on the way. That is because them themselves, you can say from the online media that when they were arrested, some of the police officers were in Pura enjoying their free data, free Wi-Fi. What are you trying to put across? That I cannot even afford that. So that is what should be revisited. That the country is in a very fragile state. That the country is in a very serious condition. The country is about to doom. And as the youth, please, it is your right to make sure that this country is not doomed. If the country is doomed, your future doomed, your family doomed, the society doomed, everybody, your loved ones will doom. And I am sure I am not ready to sacrifice myself, my family, for this country. If I am going to be the sacrificial lamb for this country to go ahead, who am I to say no? Who am I to say no? I will obviously be the sacrificial lamb to make sure that the country realizes its full potential. Independence without economic independence, it's meaningless. We cannot solely rely on loans and grants for our sustainable. It is not sustainable. We cannot rely on them. 75 of our tax or 75 of our budget are supported by the international community. They dictate you. He who pulls the pipe will dictate the tune. If I am a pipe player, I will play it and I will want the pipe to play the tune that I want it to play. So that is what is happening in this country. That is why all these nonsenses are happening, and they are nonsense, they are impunity. We are not going to arrest them. People.
Thank you very much.